Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here alongside, well, you know who this man is. It says RC Sidekick. I did not realize that until right now on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. That is not true at all, but hey, he's the man, the myth, the legend, Lyle Leong Jr. And in today's podcast, we're going to talk about Micah Hudson, and we're going to have one of the best Texas Tech wide receivers of all time. I'll say it, he won't. I don't give a damn. Breakdown film of Micah Hudson. Y'all been asking for it, Lyle. I'm telling you right now, man. The most, the biggest comment I've seen, more comments than ever, I think, in terms of like just one singular thing, has been, hey, when is Lyle going to break down Micah Hudson on the podcast? Like, when are we going to see Lyle break down film of Micah Hudson? Today is that day. My friend, how you doing?
Oh, man, blessed to be in your presence. Like I said, man, just, it's that time of the year. Football's coming back. We love all Texas Tech sports. Love talking about Texas Tech. But, this is a, sport that's near and dear to my heart. So it's awesome to be in the mix and hearing, the good things that's going on. And more importantly, just kind of seeing some love being shown back because being close here, I've got to the luxury to get to kind of see the inside of what Coach McGuire and his staff is doing, and they've been working hard. So it's good to kind of get some love back for everything they've done because it's a lot of coaches in the game that put in work that don't get to receive that back. So they're doing a fantastic job, and like I said, it's a good day to be a Red Raider.
No doubt. We'll talk about some of that buzz on the national level too after we break down Micah Hudson. Well, I'm just going to be guiding the ship. I'll be that your mouse for you today in terms of clicking and stopping and stuff. People want to hear from you on that front. Some quick housekeeping notes before we break down the film and everything. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for subscribing. I think we're about to hit 8,100 subs on the channel. I bet we get to 10K, Lyle, at some point during the season. And I can tell you right now, outside of Texas Tech's official, YouTube account, I think it's got like 27,000. We have the most subs of any Texas Tech channel there is, period. And that's awesome. I wanted to give everybody a shout out for that. We really appreciate y'all. And for the 52.6% of y'all that don't subscribe, look at me. I'm going to look right in the camera real quick. Look at me. Hit that subscribe button. Hit it. Nobody else is going to be breaking down this guy like Lyle can right now. I'm telling you right now, there's nobody else in the tech media space that can break down a wide receiver like a guy that, I'm just saying, number 2 all time in touchdown receptions at Texas Tech. The guy in front of you is pretty good, though, right?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, man.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Nobody's ever heard of him, though, right?
Nah, just 2-time Blitnikoff winner,
Yeah. No, he doesn't have like a dance named after him or anything either. Not a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. None of that stuff.
No.
Play a decade in the league or anything either. But we digress. So hit that subscribe button so you can stay in the know on Texas Tech football all year long. And again, this is just the first of many film breakdowns. Now that we got this, we're going to tinker with the background a little bit, people. Don't judge us too hard on the background. I get it. It's a work in progress. But you're going to like being able to hear and see film breakdown from a guy that has played the position at one of the highest levels. So, wow, what do you say we get into this thing, man?
Let's get to it, brother.
All right, let's get into this. We got Micah Hudson here. And again, this is from his huddle right here. This is a play right here. It looks like it's going to be a fade route in the corner. And what we're going to do here is we'll stop after every play, let y'all watch the play, go through it a second time. And on the second time, Lyle will break down what he sees and everything like that. We got about 15 plays here. So let's go to this first one here. Just a fade route back corner.
Man, I think too, the thing that Kit, he's gonna take shots. I think he's a matchup guy. I think we all can say that. So I think this guy right here is a match. This is a catch that most kids in high school can't do. I think we saw Odell make this catch. It's not many people that make those.
Shout out to the Cowboys fans watching, right?
Yeah, I know it hurt y'all's soul, but I mean that's probably one of the my favorite routes in football, but it's one of the toughest ones to do. So gets a lot of lean, makes a great catch, and I'm gonna be on both sides, and I'm gonna say what's good, but also at the next level, that route. He's gonna have to get a little bit more on that great catch, but he's also gonna be going against a 6'2" cornerback versus a 5'10" guy in high school. So, like I said, does he do great things? Absolutely. And I think going there with Coach Juice, he's gonna get him right. And that was a fantastic catch. That's the part that you can't teach as a receiver. Those type catches, you can teach him how to run routes. You can teach him how to lean on them. You can teach him how to do all that stuff. But that type catch right there is something that he's been living right, or his parents live right. But that's something that you can't teach. They're not doing drills, and if anybody tells you that they are, they're lying. That's not a drill. That's a God-given thing right there. So,
I mean, that's a waste of time if you are doing it, because there's like maybe 5 guys in high school football that can make that catch.
but you'd be surprised, RC. You come out here, you see people doing
That's
some
fair. That's
crazy
fair.
stuff, and you're like, no. So
All right,
that's
so that was just a God-given ability type play,
without a
almost in a
doubt.
way, like beat a guy, whatever. This is interesting to me, Lyle, and I'll let people see it while I talk just a minute, because he's lining up in the backfield here. It's not there. They read it perfectly, right? The quarterback's like, screw it. I'm gonna get the ball to Micah Hudson, and then he doesn't look back.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, Coach Blanchard. The thing that they bring into Tech is speed, and I think that they understand that. It's a broken play, and like I said, this man right here is just the way that he's able to move. He's so fluent with the way he moves, and he kind of just the way he moves is not jerky, real smooth. You get one cut, boom, simply one cut, and he's faster than everybody. So I think that's the thing too that Tech loves. I love. Even when we were there, I think that the thing at receiver that most people can attest to, there's not many super fast guys that could catch. So Tyreek Hill, he's phenomenal, being that fast, being able to catch Waddle, those type guys. But like I said, we play with some dudes that are really fast that cannot catch. So to see the speed that he has, and to me, usually it's like you got a guy that's a track guy that plays football. And I think in this case, he's a football guy that could do track. And I think that's two totally different things. And so a lot of those guys that are track dudes that play football end up playing DBs because they can't catch, but they're fast and they can knock the ball down. So it's good to see, man. Big time playmaker, put the ball in his hands and go. That's what we need.
It's crazy too, because like, and we'll hear your comparison later on. You can drop it whenever you want. But every time I watch him, I'm just like, it's Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Like one of those two guys, a combo of them. Like even when there's nothing there, there's always something there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, and there's very few guys that are like this. This is a play we were talking about before we started recording, Lyle, in terms of one that kind of stood out to you. Again, you got trips up at the top, single wide receiver at the bottom. You're in the shotgun right here, 3 down linemen. Looks like number 29 is blitzing right there off the edge. Looks like the lineman's picking it up. But in that situation, you're Micah Hudson. If you can see down here at the bottom of the screen, right below that blue spot, hey, that's the guy that's going to pick him up. But you can tell in letting this play run, he finds the soft spot really, really quickly and just makes it easy when there's a blitz coming for his quarterback.
Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest thing for me is one thing I learned from Crab. Shout out to my brother. But the thing that I learned from him, if you notice, he comes back to the ball. That's one of those things that a lot of kids are not confident enough to do. We'll get to the finish, but when he comes back to the ball, I tell a lot of young receivers the thing that you realize is if you're waiting for the ball for a long time and you feel like you're waiting for a long time, the best thing I could tell you to is step forward, because if you're floating a long time, you know what's about to happen. So the fact that he's feeling that right there, that's like awareness from a receiver that a lot of kids don't have. He's aware, like, man, I'm floating. I'm too open. If you're too open, you're gonna get knocked out. I can
There
assure
you
you.
go.
So he senses that he's way too open, takes a step forward, and I think the biggest thing is the way he makes people miss. And I think at Tech we have receivers right now that can make plays, can get open, but do we have somebody that can make people miss? And I don't know if we have somebody on that receiving core right now that can do this. And I think that's this right here is a 5-yard pass that turns into a touchdown.
Yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
let's see, 6, good block there, 7,
Mm-hmm.
and then he outruns an 8 and a ninth guy. Oh, make
And a
it 10.
10th. Yeah.
I mean,
So,
to be fair, some of those guys missed him twice, but he technically missed 10 guys.
yeah.
Like, and we're talking, and just like you said, that's a route where he has to be hyper aware that, hey, he sees 29 blitzing. They got a blitz from both of the tops right there with the 3 down linemen. And the quarterback's aware too, like, hey, I'm just going to look for Micah, it looks like here,
Mm-hmm.
because he knows that Micah's going to find space and he finds him on a quick. It looks like it was supposed to be a slant, but he turned it more into a 90 because he had to come back to the quarterback. And then,
Yeah.
just God given gifts right here.
Yeah, just making people miss. And like I said, once again, I don't know if we have anybody on our receiving core that can do this right now. I don't. Do I think we can make someone miss? Yeah, but I think we have a lot of lengthy receivers that are kind of possession guys. I think when I think of him, I wouldn't really, to me, kind of reminds me if I'm going NFL, and I don't want to say because this dude's a top 10 NFL receiver. So I don't want people to be like, oh man, he's comparing him. That's not what I'm saying by any means. But to me, the way he moves, he kind of reminds me of a Jalen Waddle. The way he moves, catches the ball, the way he makes people miss. Um, I feel like that's what I would compare him to as a slot guy that can go outside. But to me, at the next level, I see him being a slot guy that we can get the ball in his hand, give him some jet sweeps. He needs the ball in his hand type guy. And I don't think looking back, I don't think Texas Tech has really had a lot of guys that are like that. I think Texas Tech has mostly had like possession type guys. We've never had really guys that are going to go catch a ball at 5 yards and go. Maybe Crab was the closest that
Jakeem,
we've had. Jakeem, I take the bet. We had Jakeem. Sorry, Jakeem. Love you, brother. Besides Jakeem, I don't think we've had many receivers like that. As good as Texas Tech has been in throwing the ball, I don't know that many that we've had that's been able to make those moves. So to me, like I said, he's not as shifty as Jakeem, but to me, he gives me
sure.
that Waddle where if he gets the ball and you're running with him, he's going to run past you. But he's
He's
also
got
not.
sneaky speed, like, and again, we're talking. The thing is about player comps, people have to understand you're always going to go to the highest one, right? Like,
Mhm,
you're always going to talk about the absolute 1% ceiling when it comes down to it. Like, I think Jalen Waddle is a good take in terms of how shifty he is,
mhm.
but speed wise, like, he's not the fastest guy out there,
No, no,
but
no.
neither is like a guy like Jamar Chase, and he's smaller than Jamar, but like when Jamar's in the open field, you ain't gonna catch him, right?
Right.
Like he's deceptively fast. And that's kind of what I'm looking at when I watch Micah is like, is he fast? Obviously. But it doesn't look like he's that fast. But then you look at it and it's like, oh, he's created 10 yards of separation out of nowhere, you know? And
Mhm.
it's like, okay, makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, and I think that's where people get confused. And me personally, I hate the 40. I think the 40 is so
Yeah,
stupid. Because there's football speed and there's track speed. It's a difference, and there's some people that have that football speed. Another one, like I said, great example, Crab. Crab is 220. He's not a super fast cat, but I mean, you go back and look at his film. He caught many jail screens where he took it to the house. It's football speed
talking
is a
about a screen right here. You're about to
yeah.
see one.
Football speed is different than that, than the 40 running left and straight. So, I mean, I think he's got that football speed. And granted, the things that everyone's got to take into account is this is high school. So,
Sure,
I've been hearing a lot of talks, and people are probably going to bash me for saying this, and I'm gonna say it anyway. Uh, there's a difference between D1, D2, and D3 football, and the difference is right here. But and when he gets to the next level, he's not running past everybody on the field because everybody is going to be just
sure.
as fast. That's the difference. And so I think that's where people got to realize, um, is he a 5 star? Yeah. Is he fantastic? Yes. But some of the things that he's getting away with at this level, it's not going to happen at the next level, but he will continue to grow and get better. As you know, this is a kid. He's 17, maybe 18. I don't know how old he
Yeah.
is, but you just got to take it to account. So
This
great
is a
player.
play that you would see in a Kitley offense too. That screen
Mhm.
you're talking about, semblance of the air raid right here, and then yeah, I mean he just makes guys miss. But the thing is with like even from the perspective of like, does this happen in college football as regularly in high school? Obviously not. But the thing is like you want to see in terms of his reads, right? Like that's the thing I'm watching for as we go back a little too far here. But I'm watching to see how he sets it up, right? Like, because you can see here in this play, and Lyle, correct me if I'm wrong at any time, his wide receiver whiffs on that block.
90% of the time they do, brother. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
And so he comes back to the ball, makes that guy miss, probably a block in the back on his offensive lineman. And then, I mean, there's just some things you can't teach. He almost reminds me vision wise, Lyle, of like a running back, but he's a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of what he reminds me of a little bit. I mean, because this is disgusting right here. He makes two guys crash into each other.
Mm-hmm.
They take each other out. So now it's 9 versus 11. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just wild. But yeah, and it doesn't stop there either. We'll see the next play up, but like he can do it in different ways. We already saw him out of the backfield once, broken play. It happens. You see him there on a screen. Now he's in the punt return game. Like you talk about him being a slot receiver. I think he could play out wide too, but I almost think it's better if they just keep him in the slot. Just for the sheer fact of like it opens up more field for him in the sense of it allows Zach Kitley to be that much more creative with him, right? You're not just setting limits because when you get a guy out there, you got a boundary to play with. When you're in the middle of the field, there's no boundary. It's just you and the defender at that point. The defender has to stay with you on an island. Maybe they get some help. But with a guy like Micah Hudson, if you see the one-on-one, and he's smart enough as a football player to see that, and obviously you got some smart quarterbacks too. If he's on an island by himself in the middle of the field, there is 9 different routes that man can run that you have to account for legitimately. He's got a full route tree.
Yeah, man, and people don't understand that slot, man. That it makes it tough at slot. Outside, they can double. They put the safety over the top. You got linebackers, nickel backs, and nickel backs. I'm gonna be real. Nickel backs are the ones that ain't good enough to be your starting corner. They're the third DB. That's just the facts of the matter. So any
Just coming to
nickels
be
out there
savage today, huh?
and they tell you, hey man, we want you to be here. No, it's because you're not good enough to be in the first two. So you got your third best corner against arguably one of your best receivers. You take a safety over top. Like I said, to me, he can. I mean, listen to me, people. He can, not he will. He can be a real game changer because we got 6'5", 6'4" receivers on that outside that, they're going to have to make a decision. And I've been telling people this for the longest time. You got to understand how important each piece is. If one person does not come through, change the whole offense. Like people, Crab won the Blitnikoff twice, but he had Danny Amendola in the slot play in the NFL 10 years. Like that made a big difference. You can't double Crab and leave Danny open. You can't double Danny and Crab because then there's no one for run support. So, like I said, him right there you have to choose. Am I want Bradley or do I want, Micah? But at the same time, if Bradley doesn't produce, what they're going to do is double Micah and leave Bradley on the island. Like, go do your thing. So everything works hand in hand, but he could be the difference because he's so versatile. It becomes a problem. Who do we put out there? A third corner can't put a safety up. At Texas Tech, I love all safeties. I think there's one safety that could probably cover this man on one-on-one. That's Darcel McBeth. Other than that, I don't know if we had a safety that could come down and play man and do that. Maybe we do, and I'm overlooking him, but he causes a problem because of his how versatile he is. And I think the key is on that though is what do those outside do? What do the other slot do? How good are they? And so I think that's the part where Kit's got to put them in the right place and let him go. And he may be an outside guy, and they could still be versatile. He may move and
Yeah.
become a problem. So I think there's a lot of stuff that you can do with them. And like I said, he does great things, but the thing is too, he's gonna have to realize because everybody's gonna understand. I try to tell people too, yeah, he's awesome. But if you pull up a DB that Oklahoma has, Texas has, West Virginia has, it looks the same way on defense. So he's still got to come and perform and do all that, which I think that he's got a good enough staff, good enough place where he can come do his thing. But like I said, it goes hand in hand. Quarterback is timing right with him. Is he, and so I think he's versatile. I think they're going to use him everywhere, run. And if you're asking me, I think that's the thing that probably drew him to Texas Tech. if you're asking me, is how
It's
creative.
not done yet, but it feels like it could be. Like,
Well,
again,
I'm
he
just
hadn't
saying
committed
what
yet.
brings him interest
For sure. The
is
allure
because
of
of
it, for
how
sure.
creative. Don't get me wrong, Shark. He's got some great things that he does as well. Great offense coordinator. I never hate on someone that's doing great things. But if you're asking me in the Big 12, who has the most creative offense, I'm going to say Texas Tech. I'm going to say Texas, and I'm going to say probably Kansas that do the most creative stuff. So if I'm a guy that has that versatility, that I wasn't blessed enough to. You pull up my highlights, it's just gonna probably be some phase. It's not making people miss.
It
So
worked out pretty well for you.
I like what he can do though. I think he could be a big one.